Let's have a look at what I'm reading in the month of May. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Fictional Escapist. My name is Kris, and today's video is going to be a combined one. I'm going to be doing my May at a glance video as well as my May TBR to free up some room on the channel because I do 2 videos a week now. That seems to be the sweet spot for me, but it does mean that I need to smush these 2 videos, which would normally be separate, together for this month. I am going to start off with the TBR because that is what a lot of people are more interested in, and then if you want to catch what's happening this month, there'll be a timestamp down below and you can have a look at the May at a glance. So starting off with the TBR, actually before we start with that, make sure you check in the description box down below for links to my Discord and social media should you want to come along for the ride. Now, May is a huge month for me in terms of a TBR. I've got a lot of review copies that I've agreed to read. I've got a couple of arcs in here which need to be done before the end of May, so I'm basically going to be spending every spare second of my time reading. But Rachel and I are house sitting for most of the month of May and have very few commitments on the weekends for that month, so fingers crossed I can get all of these done. Jumping into the list, we're going to start with the audiobooks. I've got 3 audiobooks on my radar for the month, something I don't normally do. I typically will listen to 1 big audiobook or 2 sort of mid audiobooks around that 20-hour mark in any given month, but I have 3 shorter audiobooks that are around the 10-hour mark with my reading speed or my listening speed, so we're going to jump into those first. First up on the audio list is On the Winds of Quasars. This is by T.A. Bruno, and it is the 2nd book in the world of Kamaria. I read The Orbit of Sirens last year. I really enjoyed it. I thought the last 20% of the book was really like anxiety inducing, but in a good way, and excellent, and I had a great time with it. I liked the character development, I liked the world, and I wanted to read the 2nd book for a little while now. So I happen to have the audio of the 2nd book, and I've started listening to that now as of today, which is the 28th of April. No, it's the 29th of April at the time of filming. Anyway, I started this one last night, and I've only listened to an hour, but so far, so good. So that will be the first audiobook off the rank. The 2nd audiobook and a buddy read with my friend Esme Rosalind will be The Age of Assassins by R.J. Barker. Now, it's no secret, I loved the Tide Child trilogy when I read it 2 years ago, I think, at this point, and I haven't read anything else by R.J. Barker, so I want to jump into their debut series, and I will be reading this one alongside of Esme, who has read, I believe, the first one before. I'm not sure if she's continued with the next 2, and we'll be doing 1 a month, so this is starting off in the month of May. Rounding out the audiobooks for the month will be A Record of a Spaceborne Few. This is by Becky Chambers, and it is the Wayfarers book number 3. I really liked The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I thought it was excellent. I enjoyed A Closed and Common Orbit, not as much as the first book, but it was great on audio. The audiobook was really good, very easy to listen to, and I'm looking at rounding out my audio month with book number 3, and this is a buddy read with my friend Ryan, who is Ryan Floyd over on Instagram, and I'll put both their Instagram and Esme's down below. If you aren't following them, I highly suggest you do so. Esme reads a lot of fantasy, Ryan reads a lot of sci-fi. So I'll be doing that one with Ryan, and then we should finish out that series before the end of the first half of the year. Maybe I've got the 4th one for July. Don't quote me on that. Let's jump into the arcs that I have going on for May. The first arc that I will be picking up is Buzzards Bowl. This is book 2 in the Trials of Ashmount series by John Palladino. Check out this cover art. Is that not stunning? I selfishly don't want to read the blurb of this one. I had a great time with the Trials of Ashmount, and I reached out to John for the arc, and he very kindly sent it to me, and I can't wait to give you a release day review for Buzzards Bowl. This is a grimdark author, which excites me, a new voice in the grimdark scene. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into this arc. The 2nd arc that I have for the month of May is Of Thieves and Shadows by B.S.H. Garcia. I've heard some really good things about this one so far. The cover is absolutely stunning, and I jumped at the chance to get an arc. So I'll read you the blurb of this one. So far we've got 9 ratings, 9 reviews, and an average of 4.78, so we're hoping that that remains fairly high. Some secrets are best left to the shadows, but shadows have a mind of their own. The ancient land... This needs to come closer because I can't see. The ancient land of Quinaria teeters on the brink of war, as its most precious resource is unearthed and exploited. 3 nations have maintained tenuous peace for centuries, but as the life-giving Nevertham dwindles, rumours of an ancient evil long thought dead spread like wildfire. Elisa never wanted to lead. As the High Chieftain's only surviving heir, she's thrust into the role that jeopardizes the already fragile peace. A deadly attack on the day of her induction strengthens her resolve and her suspicion that her parents' murders and these disturbing rumours are connected. With newfound companions, she embarks on a journey to uncover the truth, but as they unravel layers of secrets, they find themselves in the clutches of a dictator whose unethical Nevertham experimentation threatens to bring about a new world of terror and violence. Elisa and her allies could be all that stands between war and a dying world if their conflicting ambitions don't destroy them first. It sounds great. It sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm hoping to get that one fairly early in the month of May. After the arcs, we've got review copies, and I think I have 3 review copies to get through in the month of May, starting with The Awakening Fire by Cassidy Faline. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Cassidy. I apologize if I didn't for your surname. This cover is incredible, and it's also the same cover artist that did of Thieves and Shadows, and I didn't know that until I looked up the cover artist. But this is a YA sort of dark fantasy, and I'm looking forward to getting to it. On the back it says, "The price of war, the plague of death, was ancient's curse of final breath. The sea, it carried us, time passed over us, but we did not repent. Faithful people, lift your eyes, for future's sake we must rise. Faithful people, take your stand, bring the ancients back to our holy land." I've heard some very good things about this book, and I'm looking forward to diving in. The next review copy is Foreordained. This is by Aaron N. Hall, and this is another YA epic fantasy, I believe. This one says, "The kingdom of Nesmith is in shambles. Hope is spread thin. King Barnabas has ruled relentlessly for decades. Jason has been foreordained by the Holy Dragon to replace him. Now, at age 17, Jason must choose to accept his calling, but the king will stop at nothing to retain the throne. The future of Nesmith hangs in the balance." Again, it sounds like a bit of fun, and I'm trying to get more into YA and let my brain just enjoy things for the sake of enjoying it. So I'm hoping to enjoy that one. Next review copy is one I'm quite excited to read, and this is Dreams of Dust by Lily Ann Crow. This is the Will of the Wayfinder Book 1. This author reached out to me a while ago, and I said that I would put them on my list for May, and May is finally here. This cover is friggin' awesome. I'm guessing our protagonist looks like a badass on this cover, and I'm looking forward to picking this one up. The blurb for this one says, "The immortal Ilka heal the wounds of a fractured world, but when the spirits of nature are silenced." Daniel Swift's life is about to change. The inexperienced wayfinder sets out on his first mission to explore the untamed wilds of Corinth. But when he joins a band of storied heroes to uncover the cause of an ominously deserted village, the hunt will lead Thaniel far from home into the remnants of a long-forgotten civilization and dangers beyond his dreams. In the east, an ancient sorceress wields forbidden magic to attain the object of her obsession, no matter how much nature itself cries out in fear and pain. To achieve her desires, she will destroy not only the guardian spirits of the land, but the humans as well, leaving the continent of Corinth in desolation. Thrown into the unpredictable wilderness with growing talents he barely understands, Thaniel uses magic and skill to lead his new allies further into a dying land, seeking answers. Only with the wisdom of the Ilka and the aid of one of the enigmatic builders, will Thaniel and his companions have a chance at all. But will it be enough to stop the Queen of Dust? It sounds awesome, and I'm really looking forward to reading this book and getting a review out here on the channel. Next up, we have a book that I've agreed to read, and I thought it was in April, but it's in May. That is Squeak by Vera Valentine. This is part of the Omegaverse, which I've recently had explained to me, and I'm still not sure I understand. And I'll be doing this with a couple of people, including Rogers Reeds, and I think the Bookish Mum. I think there's somebody else in there, but yes, I've agreed to this. It's like 50 pages, so hopefully it isn't all that confronting, and I can just power through. The last one I've got on this list for a must-be-read is Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. This is the biggest book on the list here, and it is finally time for this one to be a priority on the list. I don't really have books that I will bring up into the TBR because I think the amount of books that I have on this list that I really do want to get to this month is going to push my limits, so we'll see. Peace and Turmoil I have explained before in other videos because it's been on my TBR for about 4 months now, so it's finally time to get into this political fantasy, and this is the Dark Shores book 1. Those are the books I have got planned for the month of May. Let me know what you're planning on picking up in the comments down below, and stay tuned if you want to see what I have going on for the entire month. Alright, let's jump into May at a glance. On the 1st of May, so today, you have just got my TBR and now you're getting my May at a glance video. On Thursday the 4th, I will have my Seeds of War by João F. Silva rapid review. This book was releasing today on the 1st of May, so we'll get the review out on Thursday. On Monday the 8th, I will have my May 2023 indie release video from the list on Rob J. Hayes' site and also epicindie.net. On Thursday the 11th of May, I will have my April wrap-up for the month. So everything I read in April will go through my thoughts and feelings then. On the Saturday, I will have a bonus video, so that is Saturday the 13th, and that is a if you like this traditionally published book, try this indie or self-published book, which comes from a post I saw on Facebook, and I reached out to the author and asked if I could use that on the channel because I thought she had some really good comparisons and good suggestions for people to use, and she said yes, so that will be on the 13th. On Monday the 15th, I will have the reading vlog up for you for the first week in the month of May, but that is the timeline that I will do the vlog, and you'll get it on the 15th. On the 18th, that is a Thursday, you will have my Iron Crown rapid review a few weeks after the release of Book 2 in the Dragon Spirits, The Shadowgate. So I've finally read the first book, and my review will be out on the 18th. On Monday the 22nd, I will have the This or That book tag. I was tagged by Punk Rock Cereal Bowl, which is one of my favorite new channels. I think he's great, and I'll be doing that one, so thank you very much for the tag. I'll give it a go on the 22nd. On the 25th, I will have the Forbidden Realms book review. This is book 2 in the Fallen Light series by H.C. Newell that I read earlier in April. On May the 29th, I will have my June TBR and At a Glance video, so you'll get that one a little bit earlier, again to make room for some Spiffbo content, because Spiffbo opens on May the 17th, and I'm really excited about the content coming your way in June. On the 31st, which is the Wednesday, you will have the May bloopers, and then on the 1st of June, I know we're going into June, you will get the Buzzards Bowl book review on release day. So, that is what I have planned for the month of May. Is there anything you're excited to see? Any suggestions you have for content? Please leave them down below. If you like this content, give it one of those. If you want to see more of it, click subscribe at your will. I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.